Every person has their own idea of what true happiness may look like, and what they need in their lives in order to find it. I was watching this clip of George Lucas talking to a few students and explaining his thoughts on what sustained happiness truly is. His explanation was really profound because it not only seems very hard to define for ourselves, but is also extremely elusive when we are looking for it. So he discovered this along his journey and defined it under two categories: long-term happiness, which he called joy, and short-term happiness, which he called pleasure.
Pleasure is short-lived. It lasts an hour, lasts a minute, lasts a month. And it peaks and then goes down. It peaks very high. But the next time you want to get that same peak, you have to do it twice as much. It's like drugs. You have to keep doing it because it insulates itself, no matter what it is. Whether you're shopping, whether you're, engaged in any other kind of pleasure, that all has the same quality about it.
Pleasure was described as being self-serving, in that its primary function was to drive short-term satisfaction without really bringing any true value to yourself or others. It doesn't last very long, maybe an hour, maybe a month, but it peaks and then gradually subsides. He also said that it was additive, which means that it's really hard to replicate the happiness that you feel when you make a purchase like your first car or eating at a fine restaurant. The only way that you can do that is by buying a faster, more expensive car. And so that bar for pleasure keeps getting pushed up higher and higher till you have an entire fleet of jets, yachts, and 50 luxury cars. I'm guilty of this as well, where I've been chasing greater and greater achievements faster than anyone else, because I would feed off of the admiration of other people. But this does not last forever. The point of this is that every future indulgence in your pleasure tends to be less effective because you find yourself chasing that same euphoria you felt when you made that first attempt at deriving pleasure. And so the constant and sole pursuit of pleasure is not very sustainable. This could also be related to a career that you simply follow for the money or acclaim from others. But once that door is open, you tend to chase more and more of it in order to be happy. Please bear in mind that there's nothing wrong at all with pleasure, and that it is necessary to keep life moving forward, make things better, and bring a sense of satisfaction to existence. However, it cannot be the only source from which you derive gratification.
Joy is something you can recall. Pleasure, you can't. So the secret is that even though it's not as intense as the pleasure, the joy will last you a lot longer. Joy is compassion. Joy is giving yourself to somebody else or something else. And it's a kind of thing that is, in its subtlety and lowness, much more powerful than pleasure. If you get hung up on pleasure, you're doomed. If you pursue joy, you will find everlasting happiness.
Joy, on the other hand, never really goes up as high as pleasure does in the scale of emotional reaction to it. It isn't as intense, but it stays with you longer. It can be as simple as laughing with your friends or sending flowers to your loved one. In its finest form, joy is what you feel when you are able to fulfill your purpose. That can be through compassion or kindness that you share with others. But it can also be through building and creating things that bring value to society. It may not give you a kick of dopamine in the way that a fat paycheck would, but it can assure you a sustained sense of fulfillment over the long term. What I would take away from this is that true bliss can be attained by setting up your life in a way that you can positively impact the lives of others around you. You can do this by spending time to develop a better idea of who you are and what it is about you that is unique. Once you do that, you can bring value to one person or a community of people through a skill or service that has a higher likelihood of bringing you joy like nothing else. My form of happiness has begun to shift towards enjoying the process of whatever I'm doing and finding a way that it can make a difference to even one person. That's the joy that I'm trying to pursue. The two components need to operate hand in hand to really make you happy. You just have to try to tip the scale in favor of pursuing joy. Because while pleasure may be easier to attain through whatever means, it can sometimes be a mask for the pain and frustration that one feels. So what works for me is to try to maintain a good balance of pleasure and joy in my life. Because if you're able to do that, it might make your odds of finding happiness a little better. Alright guys, I wanted to take a moment to thank you all for being here and taking time out of your day to watch these videos. I really hope that They're able to bring some value to you in your life, and I really enjoy making them and sharing them with you. Drop a like on this video if you liked it, and share it with somebody who you think is trying to find happiness and self-fulfillment and trying to grow. Thanks so much for watching. My name is Vihan Chelliah. I'll see you next week.